let's drop the puck with a story we've been following the past month. On November 19th, Craig Cunningham of the AHL's Tucson Roadrunners collapsed on the ice before their game against the Manitoba Moose. He was immediately attended to, given CPR, and transported to the hospital where he received advanced life-saving therapy. His condition was so critical that he was moments away from death several times. They're calling his recovery, though, a Christmas miracle. And for a family that's been through tremendous adversity the last few years, the Cunninghams finally received some positive news today. Craig will be released from the hospital sometime soon, and he addressed the media earlier today.
I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. I want to thank everyone from the fire department to our trainers, to the doctors at St. Mary's, to the doctors at Banner, to every single nurse that has helped me so far. No, I don't remember anything from that whole day, actually. The last thing I remember is playing the weekend before.
They have refused to give up in spite of hopelessness. They have given Craig a chance to recover that continues to exceed anything that could ever have been expected. These people are nothing short of a gift to mankind, and I will remember the gift that they have given me every time I look at my son.
I think, one can't forget what happened on the ice. So Devon and Matt were amazing, and I think that the fire, the Tucson Fire Brigade was phenomenally there and in action. And I think that the Southwest Ambulance too was quite amazing in terms of how fast everything happened.
Anytime that you can get some extra support and some extra help from other people, it makes a big difference. And it's nice to know that people are reaching out and able to help you through tough times.
Defying all the odds, it's been a remarkable recovery for Craig Cunningham since November 19th. Joining us now is Roadrunners GM Doug Soetaert. Doug, one can only fathom the emotions that you and your entire franchise experienced this last month, nearly losing a member of your hockey family. How good was it to see Craig speaking to the media today?
Well, it's been a very tough, long journey, obviously, for him and the organization and friends and family. To see him go from dropping on the ice to the battle he had in the hospital with the great doctors, and now today, progressing along to a point where they're just about ready to release him. Obviously, they've still got a little bit of work to do, but all in all, he's getting better every day, and the good Lord willing, he'll just continue to improve every day.
Doug, take us through, from your perspective, the events of November 19th.
Well, you know what? I was up in the stands and turned around and happened to see one of my players down, and beginning after coming off a warm-up and doing a hot lap, I guess you could say, he ended up on his back, and the referee in charge that night flagged over our medical team, our trainer, Devon Alves, and Matt Harder jumped on the ice immediately and went into emergency conditions with regards to his condition, and took it from there, and basically all hell broke loose with regards to the procedures and what was going on. Obviously, we had 4,000 people in the building. Heather Cunningham, Craig's mother, was there also, and it was it was a lot going on, but it was orchestrated, and everybody knew what they were supposed to do. There's procedures and protocols taken within the American Hockey League for emergency situations like this, and I can't say enough about our medical staff and what they did to prolong or look after the situation at hand, and pass them on to the EMTs and then eventually to the hospital and the doctors working on them. But it was pretty hectic because you really didn't know what was going on and what had happened, but cooler heads prevailed, and everything has turned out for the best, that's for sure.
I'm sure at this point you know more about the medical field than you ever knew or had hoped to know at this point in your life. But take us through the next couple of days. He's in the hospital there, just reading a little bit more about this story, just the real medical miracle that this really is, that Craig's still with us today.
It is. You know what? I happened to be there the night that he was in the hospital with his mother, supporting his mother, sat in on most of the meetings with the doctors along with our medical staff for support for her. And it's amazing what these men, these doctors do, and the commitment to prolonging Craig's life at the St. Mary's Hospital, and then them working with the doctors from the University Hospital to get them there at 1 o'clock in the morning to perform an operation to do what they need to do to stabilize them. So it was like a team. I'd said it's like teamwork. A team is you work together. You're committed to win hockey games, and I've seen it on the medical side, obviously, with saving lives and behind the scenes and what went on. And it's been a moving situation for myself, that's for sure. And you can't say enough about the team of doctors that he had around him at both hospitals.
And going off of that, given the severity of the situation, Craig being such a pivotal part of this team and a central part of this team as one of the captains, how did this affect the entire group and the entire franchise during this time?
Well, it's difficult because obviously he's the captain of your team and a very well-liked young man, not only on our team, throughout the league and throughout the National Hockey League. He's got a lot of ties, and people have played with him and coached him, and that everybody was concerned about him. But it affects our young team, and it took a few days for these young men to grasp it. We had to cancel a couple games because of the emotional strain and fatigue that went along with everything that went on that night. The team was basically at the hospital till 3 o'clock in the morning. Transported them over, so it was a long, grueling process. And I say now, the better he gets, the better our team has gotten, and people are moving through those grieving stages and feeling bad, and they see him feeling better, and obviously we all feel better for him and feel better for ourselves too. So it's been a moving situation here, but I think everybody's handled it the best they can, and we're trying to move forward as he'd want us to.
Lastly, maybe one of the tougher parts for Craig moving forward is that he can no longer play hockey after this. How do you think he will continue to stay involved with the team and the sport, knowing what you know about your player?
Well, you know what? He's a very, very, like I said earlier, he's a very well-liked young man and very committed to the game of hockey. And I would have to say that the most important thing for him right now is not to worry about that, is to worry about getting healthy. And once he gets healthy and back to being as completely whole as possible, I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line there'll be a spot for him at some level of hockey. So he's that kind of guy, and he's that kind of leader as a captain and as an individual away from the rink that people want him in their organization. So there's nothing but a bright future ahead of him, even though it may not be on the ice.
Certainly true. Doug, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us about this today.
You bet. Anytime.